Zdravo Eurofans, my name is Euan, my pronouns are he and him, and joining me today is...
Hi, it's Janek, and I use any pronouns.
So today we'll be discussing Pesma Euroviziju. So this is Serbia's selection for this year's Eurovision Song Contest in Liverpool. This year's selection features 32 artists. All acts have been split into two semi-final of 16 each, with each semi-final providing 8 finalists. The final and the winner will be decided by an equally weighted televote and jury vote, and the shows are going to take place over the 1st, the 2nd, and the 4th of March. This is the second year that Serbia has done Pesma Euroviziju after previously scrapping the Euroviziju format. So just first things first, overall thoughts, what are your thoughts about this year's selection?
I like the national final. I think it's a pretty good national selection. There are some really strong songs in the running, but and the songs that are strong can do very well at Eurovision, and they will if they win. But I have other problem with Prisma is there's a lot of songs that just don't sound the same. Unfortunately, some semi two is very weak compared to semi one. Like I feel like semi one has more hits than semi two. I feel like I don't know what to say. It's a setup for Hurricane to sweep the semi two, but it kind of feels like one. But no speculations. I think overall it's a very strong national selection. It's very big. I'm sorry, but I don't remember every single song that's in the selection right now because of how much it's 32 songs. It's so freaking many songs. That was my problem with last year. Also, that the selection was too huge, and like I remember last year being like I liked 3 songs from 32 songs. That's the problem. This year there's an upgrade I like more, around 10 maybe. So that's an upgrade for me compared to last year. But what surprises me is that Serbia doesn't go in the route like trying to recreate last year's success, because there is nothing like Incorporação in the selection. There is one song that's very experimental compared to the rest, but it's written by the team behind Constructa entry, so it's very experimental, but doesn't go the same route that Incorporação does. And I like that they are not following the previous results, because 5th place is a hard place to recreate, and I'm really happy that they are trying to do something else, going more into the Balkan pop genre than the experimental Incorporação. And yeah, I enjoyed. I thought it was really great. And I love the visuals that are on the graphics and on the YouTube thumbnails of the artists. And I like upgrade from last year, because last year was very boring. Like the graphics were very dark, and the artists didn't like, and just a cutout for the artist's face. And this year we have like the artist is in the centrum, and it's very colorful graphics. So I really like that.
So my very first podcast on the site was about Serbia. And what I said was I love Serbian Eurovision, but I detest Serbian selections. Truly, truly awful selections. Like only a couple, like I think there was maybe like 3 songs in Serbian selections that I actually would actively listen to outside of the winners, and just slated them. This year, however, though, it's completely flipped that. I love this. I think this is probably one of the strongest selections of the year. The change from Euroviziju, which was just very stale, in every way. Like as Jan was saying about the graphics, like even things like that, they were just boring. But now they've just put so much effort into making sure it's good at every level. Also, what I really love about what they've done is they've released all the songs together. They've released all the songs on Spotify, on all the other streaming sites. They've got it on YouTube. They're all in proper playlists. thank RTS for actually like putting the effort into when there's a big national final like this. So many broadcasters seem just like let the artists do whatever they want, but there's actually like a conscious effort to make sure everything's available, everything's ready to stream. It's all done at the same time, and that's just phenomenal because it's really it's giving the national final. It's not just one that's there. It's proper format. I really love the selection. There is a lot of things that they're saying, and I do feel there is a lot of things in this selection that are very dated and probably not fitting for Eurovision. However, although they're not fitting to Eurovision, I know this is ridiculous because it's national final, a lot of the dated songs are still really fun to listen to. And if you're saying I don't want this to go to Eurovision, but I still like to listen to it, like that's probably the best result you can have for when you want to see when you don't want for the reason that you're not wanting something to actually go to Eurovision, not because it's bad. There is of course a couple of bad songs. Like when you've got 32 songs, you're going to have some bad things. But size, I think when you have a selection that big, you need to have the quality to back it up. And I feel because so many of them are the same, it really could have been done with 20, 10 in each semi-final, and just maybe 5 qualifies to the final, and you would have had a lot stronger selection. But overall, I do love this. There are some absolute bangers. I feel like it's a lot more representative of Serbian music, because a lot of previous ones, they almost felt like they were written for Eurovision. Like there is good because like, in good in the sense that they're written still in a very Serbian manner. But this one, I feel like a lot of the songs actually feel Serbian, like they don't feel like for Eurovision. They feel like they're just organically good songs, and that's what I'm loving. We'll discuss more on that later. But moving on to the songs. So, Janek, you were of course quite a big fan of Construct and Corporatano, weren't you? So is there anything that sort of stands out for you, or any of the ones that you want to discuss?
You mean like my favorite songs, or
No, just anything that stands out for you, because we'll get to favorites in a minute.
there's a lot of dance tracks, like a lot of like songs that are very danceable. Uh, uh, like you said, there is a lot of songs that are just like very pleasant to listen to, but they aren't Eurovision friendly. And I feel like that's the thing with most of the songs that we had have in Serbia. And there's some like you see some returnees this year also, like Angelina was last year with Origami. This year she has a decent song as well. I feel like a lot of the artists, and of course you have Tijana Rapsevic. That's she is around she really wants to come back.
Which is good because she was one of the most criminally underrated singers of 2014, and
I liked her 2014 song. It was nice.
Banger. She needs to equal her sister, because of course, for those of you who don't
that
know,
would be hard.
her sister Tamara came. She topped the jury vote in 2019.
Mm-hmm. Tauti is really hard song to top also, so for me, so. But as I said, a lot of songs feel very modern in the selection that I could see played all over the Balkans. There isn't a lot of Balkan ballads in the selection from what I'm seeing, and the ones that are there, I enjoy. There's one that I really like. As I said, one song is written by the band that Constructors band. So we have one very experimental song. So we, despite the I would say the mix that is very similar, there are some standouts in genre, in the way they are performed, and some of these songs are very different instrumentally, because there are some instruments that are very uh, that are playing that I wouldn't expect from Serbia, like saxophone. So that's kind of that. But yeah, I I don't know what to say because I'm starting to repeat myself, But yeah,
So there's four songs that really stand out for me. Two in a bad manner, two in a good manner. The first one I'm going to say it's and this feels sacrilegious to say, but Hurricane's song is not good. I really don't understand. What's
I
up?
am so mad about that song. It's
Like it might just be because I stand the original three and I'm a little bit better they're gone. But was it? I can't even remember his name. Uh,
of the song.
Zumi Zimi Zami.
Zumi Zimi Zami, yeah.
Uh, this is top on the Eurovision scoreboard, and it's like it's only just top, like just beating Luke Blacks. But I mean, it's not bad. It's just very
They are trying to recreate.
girl pop by number, yeah. It's
They are
like you're
trying to
trying,
recreate Loco Loco.
yeah, like you can't
It's
recreate
very,
it.
very,
It's
very.
iconic for a reason.
No. Also, the like the cultural makeup and the like it rubs me the weird way, like the makeup and the culture, like the tribal outfits, like
I'm going to be honest, I hadn't actually seen that. I've been focused on trying to listen to them entirely, so I've not seen the makeup. That does sound a bit
it's the
odd.
thumbnail of the song. Uh,
The second one I do also, and I think this is also quite a bit controversial. I do like Luke Black's Sama Mi Se Spava, but I don't think this is something that is going to work on any live stage. I can like the hatred in Janek's face right now. It's a brilliant song. For anyone who's not actually listened to any of the Serbian songs, if you've seen anyone with anything to do with lobsters, this is the one that's about it. So many people's names on social media have been changed to have lobsters on it, and I do like that there's such a big support for Serbia. But
he
like,
is a fan favorite.
because he's just under Hurricane on the Eurovision scoreboard at the time of recording this. But it's a great song. But it's the way it's atmospheric, the way it builds it, and his vocals, I just don't think it's going to work with live instrument like live vocals. I just think it's going to end up being a bit of a complete mess, especially if it goes really big on the lobster things, because I think it's just going to look very Eurovision-y. And I'm just like, I do like the song. I'm really worried it's going to be bad and I'm going to end up hating it. But moving on to something happier. There were two songs that I heard that audibly went, yes, this is what I want. It's Savo Perovic's Presidente and Filip Balos's Novi Plan Drugi San. They're so punchy, modern. When I think of Serbian music, I think of the like of Presidente. It's that really punchy, phenomenal dance tracks with the ethno elements. There's the string works and the vocalization, and it's so good. People talk about things like, oh, we need more cultural representative music, but they always talk about it in reference to like really traditional things. I want culturally representative music in the dirtiest dance beat possible. I want to be able to slut drop to this traditional music, and this is what Serbia's got. And I think either of those songs, but there's one that I prefer, but I'll discuss that in the favorites. Like it will be phenomenal, and I am so happy that RTS has picked music like this. I want more of this in the following Pesma Eurovisios. Like this is Serbian music, and this is Serbian music at its best. But moving on, we've got a favorite three. I have a feeling I've slagged off one of Janek's already. So yeah, what's your favorite three?
So before I go to my top three, I want to shout out Presidenta because it's so such a banger, and I also like Rumba as I have my fifth. I think I was writing down the other songs that I like from the selection, and all of them were men. So I was like, okay, Rumba is one token female above of the selection for me.
I did have that
my
problem this year.
huh?
I did have that problem as well because lots of like the ones that actually stand out the most are the men, because a lot of like the good women, they're very similar songs.
Yeah. So this is a bit a controversial song because I don't see a lot of people talk about this. My third place is Boris Batic with Just a Plan. It's a token ballad of the selection for me. I really love it. I don't know what I think it's his voice. I really like his voice. But the song isn't anything special. So it just hooked me, and from the beginning,
Sorry,
I'm like,
what song did you say that was?
Na Just a Pan. By Boris Batic. As I said, it's a very non popular song, but I really like Not Just Fan. Hoping the best for him. My second place is Sama Mrs. Pava by Luke Black. This is the song I was talking about. That it's a Constructa band written song, and he has the endorsement of Constructa in this selection. I am really scared for this song because there is the one video going around the internet of him performing the playback version of this. It was so bad, but so iconic, and I just can't wait for the live performance. I have no idea what the lobsters are about. No absolute fucking clue what the lobsters are about. I don't think there's anything about the lobsters in the song. I don't know. I haven't checked the lyrics, but there is something about the century that just hooks me, and stands out among the rest, and I love it. I love it. You were about to say something, or what?
I was just saying, like, because it's really strange that he's going big with whole like the lobster and the graphics, and it's like this really weird and fun thing. The lyrics are incredibly dark.
Yeah.
Like, there's such a weird contrast, and I think that's also why I was saying that I was worried about it, because like there is the big contrast between what he's presenting it as this like weird thing with the lobster, like the photos of him with the walking the lobster on the street and things like that. But like the song's lyrics are very very dark. It's like,
I need him to win the selection. I need him to win the selection because he would be such an icon. And my number one. This is such an earworm. Such a freaking earworm. My number one is Filip Baloch with Nowy Plan, Drugi Sam. This is a banger. It's the beat that's happening throughout the song is just so good, and even the lyrics aren't like the worst thing possible, and it's just a crap banger. And we need something like that in this year because there isn't a lot of like a straight up pop songs so far. We're recording it on the 12th of February. We're just after a long Saturday. Along me saying up to at 3 a.m. to live blog Sanremo, so that's why I could be a bit tired today, but yeah. But we plan Rugi-san. I don't expect this to win. It isn't doing well with the views on YouTube, so I was not expecting a high result for him. It is a fan favorite among the Euro fans, but I don't expect this to do well. But it's just a banger, and
it was third on the scoreboard at the time of recording.
Huh?
It's third on the scoreboard at the time of recording.
Yeah. Oh, that's sorry. I am on the free version of the scoreboard, so I have no idea what to say. I don't want to pay because you have to pay every year because they only give access to the older years. I'm like, do I want it? I don't want that. I just use it for the main ranking, so I don't care. But yeah, Nowy Plan Drugi is a banger, and I want this to win a lot. I have a lot of friends who are some Sava fans, so I hope we are seeing either Philip or Luke in Liverpool. Maybe Savo, because but Presidente can see doing well because I know it's a favorite, but that chorus is very, very, very non-traditional, and I don't know what to think about it. I don't think it will hook everyone in May if it wins. But yeah, Nowy Plan, Nowy Sun, banger.
So for my three, before I do that, a shout out to Empathy Soul Project. I know that not a lot of people are going to be saying this, but Indigo is a banger. Novi Planto San again also said it. It's great. And there's so many I want to shout out. It was actually really difficult. Like also like Milan Bojovic as a Feminem, like that was a banger. Tiana also banger. Like there's just so many bangers. But my third place, Lože Prosine by Andrea and Angela. I don't really have much to say about this. I just really love her vocals. I think when Serbia does a proper girly banger ballad, it just works, and there's not really much to say. It's my second place though. Boris Subotic's Nedostupan. Look, it's a sad lad.
It's an Euan Bait. I was expecting you to say it because it's an Euan Bait song. So.
It's a sad lad with a piano at the start. That's all I need in a Eurovision song. And there's been so many. There's been so many this year. Like, and I keep losing them. Like last night at the time of recording, lost Janek. Like House of Glass banger. And like I just need a sad lad on a piano to just do well. Because
Janek didn't have a piano on stage.
Sorry?
Janek didn't have a piano on stage.
If he did have one, he would have won. No, he wouldn't have, but like still, let me at least.
I mean, Alika won is still out, so she had the piano on stage.
But yeah, no, just Japan, and like it's the transition into like the heavy drums, and it's like it just feels very modern and it's very Serbian, and I just love it. And I mean, I think you've already guessed what my favorite is going to be. It's Savo Poroj's Presidente. Like it's just every single thing about this song. His vocals, it hooks me in just from the first few seconds. Like it was one of those like I put it on my like general rotation playlist thingy, whatever you want to call it, of like immediately before the song is even finished. I love it. The way that they include the traditional elements with like the female vocalist towards in like the second half of the song, and it's the I'm not actually 100% sure what the instrument is, but it's the string that's going throughout the entire song. I love it. I love the way it's incorporated into it. It's not incorporated into enough like modern dance pop songs, and I just think this is a banger. And if Serbia picks this, it will probably be my number one. So frankly, they're not going to pick it because like I'm just very, very unlucky with that. But yeah, Serbia, even if you don't pick it, just give me 20 of bangers like Presidente next year, and just like because it's good.
And none of them will win next year.
Give me 32 bangers like that next year. Right, but moving on to the last section. Who do you think is going to qualify from semi-final one?
I have no idea. That's my question. That's my answer.
Oh,
so
same
I wrote down the eight song that I think might qualify. So I just went through this playlist and just do the recap and just wrote down who things stand out. So I wrote down Diana. I wrote down Prince. I wrote down Philip Balos, Look Black, Angelina. This is kind of rich, but I didn't know who else to put in the F. I wrote Stefan Schei in there.
No, to be honest, I get that.
There's something about the song that screams borderline qualifier on the semi. I have Stavo and I have Boris for semi one. For semi two.
Before you get into semi-finals too, because there's so many songs that we will lose track. For my qualifiers, I put Mati Zenit and Angela Cassini's Novi Svet, Tiana's Mamim, and Angelina's Lanak, Sava Perovic's Presidente, Boris Obadji's Nedostupan. But for borderlines, that I feel like the live performance really does this. I've got Luke Black, Nadia, and Adam Mehmedovic.
You don't have Philip as the qualifier?
No.
That's a shock prediction.
When do I ever give good predictions? But the thing, right, but he's performing 7th before Luke Black. That's going to be a visual. It's either going to be a masterpiece or a complete mess, but it's going to stand out. But I know also Philip's Maher is performing after Philip Balosh.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like Novi Plan Drugi-san is going to be big. It's going to be energetic. So that's why I think Cheyume Se Sutra isn't going to do well. But then again, I'm shit at predictions. But yeah, same essentially.
Okay. So Samaito. I have Hurricane is an easy choice. And I'm mad about this song a lot because they are trying so hard to copy the old Hurricane. There's nothing interesting for me for this song. And Zumi Mizami is just like, as I said, the cultural outfits are just like. This is a reach. I have Nakaneka by Friday as qualifier. I don't know why. I needed an 8th qualifier. Filari with Posle Mane. I also have that as qualifier. Rumba by Zaina. Grech by Gypsy. Unochime by Ivana. This is a reach, but looking at other national finals like Lithuania, I have Duo Grand with Viva La Vida. I have no idea what Europe has with bad opera, but I'm looking at you, Lithuania. What the fuck is happening in Lithuania with your opera songs?
Oh, come on! Those songs in Pen are phenomenal.
I have
Fortnite is a banger.
I don't like this the Lithuanian opera. And Angela with Loza Protest is my last qualifier for semi-2.
Okay, so I had Hurricanes Zumi Zumi Zami. Rumba by Xenia. I also had Nekanega by Fraile. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's something that'll just do well. Then I've got Akushvatim Kasno by Egret. Gre by Jipil Kalgromis Vedra Neba by Jelena Valadovic as a borderline. And the second borderline was Doris Milosevic's Tishina. Then the last 2 qualifiers I've got Ivona Unosimia, and I've still pronounced that wrong, and Angela's Loshe Prosina. But to be honest, I feel like there's
Semi-2 is so weird.
Sorry?
Semi-2 is so weird.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of here that's also like it's very dated. That I don't know whether like the nostalgia will take over people and then just all the dated ones are qualified, because you know how I can see that happening. I do feel like their results are going to be a complete mess, and it's going to be chaotic, and I'm going to love it, especially because it'll be a Wednesday night, and you've got to love a Wednesday national final.
Yeah, that week, like it's a week long national selection, so it will be interesting to see.
But yeah, very last question though. Do you think there's anything that could win or do well at Eurovision?
Not Hurricane. I'm gonna throw a word that if Hurricane goes to Serbia, they won't. They won't even go from the semi or barely go through the semi. But if they go for the semi, they will finish bottom 5 with in the grand final. If Loco finished 18th, then Zumi Zami is not finishing higher than that. There is some.
I mean, to be fair, Loco half it wasn't sung.
I'm guessing Zumi Zami won't be even more sunk than by the girls.
I feel like it's going to get more. Like at least like Loco was pretty bad for like the not
the
singing,
dance
and
break,
I think that really like and all that. But I don't feel like oh my god, how have I forgot 2020?
2020 is
Fuck, have I forgot
Hasta la
2022?
Vista.
Yeah, I think like Hasta La Vista they would have sung more. I feel like that would have done better than 18. So
I know I prefer Loco Loco by the Mile than Hasta la Vista, so it's weird
we
to
have so bad
say.
opinions.
Like there is some songs that could do damage. Like I can see Look Black being a potential top 10 result if everything goes correctly. I think Nowy Plan Drugi Stan also can do some damage. If there isn't a lot of pop songs in Eurovision this year, we don't have a lot of dance pop songs so far. Like if you look at all the songs selected right now, which semi is Serbia in? One or two?
It is in.
I'm blanking because it's also
The
important.
first, it's in the first, yeah.
Then Hurricane is not qualifying. I think they have to pick something to stand out in semi one because semi one is looking like a strong semi. I think Savo has a big chance to do well if everything goes correctly. Like a lot of these songs are like, okay, this is a banger in studio, but will it work on stage? Like we saw a lot of club bangers in national selection that just didn't do well at live. So it's it's really hard to say. Like this recording seems like a mess because we really don't know anything about most of these artists. Like Boris Spotic is a returnee, Angelina is a returnee, Tiana is a returnee, and that's all. And Ivana is also a returnee, I think. And we know a bit about how they sing, but the rest, we aren't from the Balkans, so we don't know exactly how this will be. But yeah, I think Look Black is the one that will stand out the most in Liverpool, I think, if everything goes correctly. like he wants like he wants to.
See, I'm kind of disagreeing with you saying Look Black because if the semi-final one, you've got things that are going to be very visually big hitters. You've got like Czechia, potentially Croatia, if that's allowed. Like things are going to be like
The two songs that we have so far that are anti-war being in one semi-final, they're so different and each other. Like I don't like Mama Szczy, but I love my sister's crown. So I'm like, this one of them will be seen as a joke entry, and the other one will be seen as a potential political song. And I don't like this. I don't like this.
Yeah. Also, what I think Eurovision is currently lacking, now I do need to point out we are recording this on the 12th of February, is there's not really that many strong, like I'm not counting the internal selections that have not released their songs. I'm talking about songs that have been released at this moment. There is not a lot of good, strong female soloists. You've got Estonia, and that's it. There's no big ballads that are going to like hit you, which is why I think Loche Prosine, because she's got the big vocals, and I just think that's going to be jury bait, but it's very accessible. I think Presidente would get a fair amount of votes, because it's not too clubby, but that's why I feel like Philip Balos with Novi Plan San, it's a bit too clubby, so it's not going to get it would probably qualify, but it wouldn't be top 10. I feel like Presidente could get that sort of like 7th to 10th position, and the same with Loche Prosine. I also kind of do think Fenone Milan Bujakovic's song, it could do really well because again, there's not really that much in the way that's been selected of good, strong male ballads. Like there's some dance pop songs like Gustav and things like that, but there's not really anything that's like this good that sort of hits that niche. So I think probably that would be the best bet. I really don't think this should select Luke Black because I think it's just going to be an absolute complete and utter mess. I do think Tijana Davcevic would be a great selection. I think she would qualify. Maybe left-hand side, scrape the top 10. I don't think there's a winner in this selection, which does make me sad because I think it is a good quality selection. But I think if it continues this way, continues with this trend, put some more massive bangers like Presidente, we're probably going to have a good Serbian win at some point. And that would make me very happy because we need Serbia to win again because they deserve it because it's one of the best countries in Eurovision. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, that's all we got time for. So thank you so much for watching today. If you liked our video, please follow our channel. And if you do give our points, just let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We will be following Pesma and all the other national selections and beyond. So don't forget to follow us on social media. At That Euro Podcast on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and also follow That Eurovision Site for latest news at That Eurovision Site on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Tumblr. Thank you for listening. See you in the next one.